Second have roll call. Ted?
Groves.
Here.
Fenton. Here. Fulmer.
And I'm going to ask this.
Tubbs. Here. Gilday.
Here. We have a quorum. On to item number 2. Ted?
Motion confirm and ratify that the meeting held on May 4th, 2017 at the Lou Davies Community Center was intended to be a public meeting, notwithstanding the lack of legal notice given of said meeting, and the said public meeting was expressly intended for the purpose of gathering public comment on the question of whether to add fluoride to the public water supply. If we have a motion, I'll explain.
A motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Gilday.
Discussion. Ted?
Thank you. There was some question raised as to whether the public session that was held on May 4th was intended to be a public meeting. It was raised after the meeting, and the intention of the Water Authority was to make that a public meeting. It was advertised on the website. It was also advertised in the newspaper, but it was not. There was not an official legal ad. So, in order to cure that defect, the Sunshine Law requires that the board confirm that meeting as being public, and that's what this motion will do.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Groves.
Aye.
Fenton.
Yes.
Fulmer.
Yes.
Tubbs. Yes. Gilday.
Yes.
Next item on our agenda is invitation for public comment. We do limit our total public comment to 30 minutes. We have 20 people signed up, so we're going to do a little math, and I think it's going to be about 1 minute 30 seconds will be allocated to each person.
Sir, excuse me. I signed up and I'm not eligible, so cross Tom Dayton off of there, please.
Thank you. Now we have 1 minute 32 seconds.
Okay, in order to make this orderly, there's a podium up here for people to speak. I will keep time on it, and I will raise my hand when you're at a minute, and then I'll ask you to stop at 1 minute and 30 seconds, if that's okay with everybody. Okay, first comment will be from Ian Furno.
My name is Ann Furner. I'm a lifetime resident of Meadville, and many years of a member of the Meadville Area Water Authority customer. I'd like to say here, I totally agreed with John Amato's letter that was in the Meadville Tribune recently, where he established his viewpoint and his stand on the issue that the issue was not whether fluoride is good for people or not. The issue is that forcing people to have it in their water. Many people don't want it, and to force people to drink it, that is wrong, but that is the issue. Fluoride is readily available for anyone who wants to have fluoride treatments or take fluoride pills out there in the community with their dentists and whatever. So this doesn't have to be put in the water. It shouldn't be. And I believe forcing it on people who don't want it is a criminal act. I think that's the way I look at it. If I was on the side of wanting it in the water, I would not want other people that don't want it to be forced to drink it. I would not want that. I am on the side of not having it. So I would ask that you vote no, please. There's no problem with people having fluoride if they want it. It's out there. So why force others that don't want it to ingest something that's questionable and dangerous? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the next speaker is Lynn Allen.
Hi, my name is Lynn Allen, and I'm speaking for Valenza Restaurant, which is up on 19 across from the old Kmart complex. Anyway, my son is co-owner there and also kitchen manager, and he came up the hard way. He started as a cook, and he takes the restaurant very personally. He takes his product personally, and he really can't believe that we're at this point that we have to even have this discussion. because this is a young man that's done his research, and he knows that people these days, the consumer, is very particular what they're putting in their body. And he takes his plates personally. He's revamping the whole menu, starting from scratch, fresh foods, and he's quite upset that we're even having to have this discussion. And so he's a busy man, he's up there, so I'm like talking for him to ask, please, don't put the fluoride in. He doesn't want that, and he believes a lot of his customers wouldn't want it. Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Beth Chandler?
Good morning. He already said my name, but today's Flag Day, and patriotism means loving the ideals for which America stands and having the courage to speak up when those ideals are distorted for personal or political gain. And the mission statement of our water authority, that the last part is protecting our water source is at the heart of our community, our way of life, and our children's future. This is our children's future. And to put fluoride in our water to harm our children, that just goes against your mission statement. And, you help when you can. You don't mass medicate our community, and you don't whine about how emotional you get when you see dental issues with our youth. Take the medical card and help out where you can. And that's all I have to say.
Pat Bosman?
Good morning. I'm second generation resident of the city of Meadville. Back in the mid-50s, fluoride problem was on the ballot and was voted down. While I was in high school, I was actively against it. And it was 11, 12 years later, it again was on the ballot, and at that time I was able to vote it down. Mass medication, I don't think, is wise, and it goes beyond human consumption. Washing, things going down the drain, puts that fluoride into our public water system and our public streams. So mass medication and its side effects, I don't believe is a wise way to go. Thank you.
Thank you. Katie Cisco.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to cut this short. We have the Iowa study conducted by the University of Iowa College of Dentistry that links long-term exposure to fluoridated water with dental fluorosis and dental caries. We have researchers from Harvard School of Public Health that are linking fluoridation to problems with neurological development of children. And as my friend Anna sits back there with her newborn baby, Ben, I just want to briefly discuss fluoride in mother's milk is remarkably low. It's 4 millionths part per million. So this means that a bottle-fed baby consuming fluoridated water can get up to 300 times more fluoride than a breastfed baby. And there's no benefits, just risks for this. And finally, I want to talk about the Healthy Smiles petitioners because they came to my house. They were bright young ladies, and I hope they're business majors because they totally deceived me into thinking I was signing an anti-fluoride petition. So I wonder what incentives there were. I heard they were getting graded. Have a good day.
Cindy Congelco.
I don't feel that we should have fluoride. You can get fluoride tablets for your kids. And adults being on medication, stuff like that, fluoride mixed with them, we don't know what it might do to them. And my answer is no. Thank you.
Thank you. Denise Johnson.
Thank you. And thanks for this opportunity to address you again. I respectfully ask that you adjust the community water supply of Meadville to the optimum level of fluoride that is proven to decrease tooth decay. As a medical professional and a public health advocate, I support community water fluoridation. Meadville has a problem with dental decay over other fluoridated communities. We found that in the emergency department. We've opened a dental clinic, provided free sealants, we've done education, but we must do more. Water fluoridation has been proven to be beneficial even in areas where people are using fluoride toothpaste. It's proven to be safe in hundreds of credible studies. It's cost effective, the infrastructure is already in place, and it would cost less than $3 per household per year. It is fair and equitable. It would benefit everyone regardless of income, race, gender, or social standing. I know some are opposed and they can opt out. I believe it is in the public health interest to offer this benefit to all of the others who would benefit from this. And to say that the petitioners had no incentive and did explain to everyone that they were signing for fluoridation. So I'm sorry for the misunderstanding. Thank you all for your consideration.
Thank you. Tim Carver?
Hi, my name is Tim Carver, and I just want to oppose the fluoridation and tell you we don't have to do this. Thank you.
Thank you. Chris Knapp?
Good morning. I'm concerned with how far the government should go in dictating how people live. Can we, should we, force people to consume a product they don't want and make them pay for it? Mike Crawley did an article in the newspaper. He's a reporter for the Meadville Tribune. He's also employed by Allegheny College. And here's some facts that Mike missed when he mentioned the 900 signatures. The majority of the signatures are from 2013, 4 years ago. The main thrust behind the signatures is Allegheny College. Dave Roncolata contacted me some years ago. We had lunch. He told me that President Mullen directed him to become involved. Representatives of Allegheny College used students to do surveys and petitions as part of their classwork. We appreciate all the work that Bonner Scholars, fraternities, sororities, and others do in the community. We do not appreciate a college president directing college representatives to use students to carry water for their own personal agendas. Dr. Paul Conant was deeply moved when I told him about a young Allegheny student who approached me at a Clean Water Meadville event, and she apologized. She said she and other students are leaving in a couple of years. Okay. And it is at a cost of $200,000 startup and $40,000 a year.
Thank you. I rise again to thank the board for their consideration of this vital public health measure. I spent 54 years treating the oral needs of this community. A large percentage, a good percentage, which was unnecessary, could have been prevented by this vital public health measure if enforced. If put into position after 7 decades of proven research. And I thank you once again for thinking of the children above the freedom, that to give up a little bit of freedom for health of children and for us old folks is fine. Thank you, gentlemen.
Sir, no more outbursts, okay? We'll have to ask you to leave. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Matteo Rashaki.
I have to consolidate 2 pages of notes into 1 minute and 32 seconds, but I'll do my best. I'm from Voodoo Brewing Company. I'm the CEO there. Quite possibly one of the larger consumers of the water that's here in the city of Meadville. And for that, I feel I should voice my opinion in strong opposition to the fluorination of the water. From my personal business standpoint, we would have to invest in a rather expensive reverse osmosis filtration system initially, plus maintenance annually to remove that from our products, which we do not want in our products, first and foremost. And secondly, as someone who is a father of children, we keep talking about children, this is not in the best interest of children. You cannot control the dose whatsoever. You put it in there and it's in there. The breast milk example is one of mine that I had on here as well. I won't reiterate it because I have a brief amount of time, but you're giving infants who are putting formula and tap water together doses well beyond what they should be having, and you can't control that. It's criminal to put this in the tap water. You don't have consent from many of the people in this room. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical professional, but I've done research on many who are. My wife and I choose to follow the Weston A. Price diet and life choices, and his research strongly opposes fluorination on a mass scale. There's the toxicity within fluorination to the human body can cause thyroid dysfunction, brain function problems, dental fluorosis, problems with the pineal gland, arthritis, bone density issues, kidney function. The list goes on and on. My last thing, is the board feel informed on both sides of the, am I allowed to ask a question in my closing? Am I permitted? I can't ask you a question?
Right now.
Okay, thank you.
Claire Meisner.
I think we have enough stuff in our water already. We have lead, we have mercury, we have all kinds of carcinogens. We don't have to add anything more, all right? Now, if your children have tooth decay, buy the toothpaste with fluoride in it, or the mouthwash. You don't have to tell grandma to brush her teeth with fluoride because she has false teeth. So the thing is, she dies at the age of 60, but from lead poisoning from the water she's been drinking all these years, but she has good teeth.
Dwayne Kohler.
My name's Dwayne Kohler, and I have worked at Meadville Medical Center the whole time it's existed, and at City Hospital prior to that. Starting in 1975, been a lifelong resident of West Mead Township and a customer of the Water Authority since 1988, I think is when we moved into the house we live in now. To me, there's one issue involved here. The number one reason why people went to the emergency room for a number of years was because of a tooth problem, and most of those were related to tooth decay and tooth rotting out. Those problems are very easily solved. 1,600 people a year, which works out to about, based on the average, we get a lot of complaints at the emergency department about having to wait too long. Almost every time you went there, you were waiting behind somebody who was being treated for a toothache. And that's not necessary. That's very curable, and I appreciate the Water Authority's consideration of this because it's something that I think is going to solve that problem. Thank you.
Okay, Anthony John.
Good morning. I'm in favor of water fluoridation, and I base that decision on science. And you think about over 70 years of research and case studies done not only here in the U.S. but also globally. It's shown that fluoride has no adverse effect on the human body, but it also has shown that fluoride has decreased the amount of cavities in children. So that's why I'm in favor of fluoridation. Thank you.
Thank you. Elizabeth Peterson.
I think the first person that was up was right. The issue is, do we want anything added to our water, period? And I do not. I just think there's so much already in there, and we really don't know what the outcome is of certain all these reports. So I'm totally against it. I don't think it's necessary.
Okay, and the last speaker is Raymond Lung.
I'm a pediatrician in private practice. Children's health is my first priority. It's the most important for me.
Excuse.
That's why,
ma'am,
I come here. I shut down my. I'm not seeing patient now. I come here. Just want to express my hope that the board member can make the decision. There's a lot of misinformation in the internet, and you can go in and find all kind of information. But who do you trust? The American Academy of Pediatrics, or the CDC, or the AMA, or ADA, American Dental Association? All of them support water fluoridation. That's all I want to say. I hope that you can make the right decision. Thank you.
This lady here didn't, I signed up, I was thinking number 4.
I signed up.
Number 4, Ruth Dimmerly. I was one of the first
I'm
ones.
sorry,
to
ma'am.
sign.
I thought I called you.
I signed
Please.
up too.
And who's the other one?
Who's the other name?
Ron Brown.
Ron Brown.
Well, I'm Ruth Dimmerling, and I want to thank the Tribune for publishing all my letters. They're very fair, I think. But I'm an old lady, and I have my own teeth before fluoride. I taught at Second District School for 28 years, and I sent very, very few children to the nurse for a toothache. Headaches, maybe they were hungry, I don't know, but there were very few that said, I got a toothache. So I am very much against fluoriding, and I worry about the unborn babies too, because I know my niece is pregnant, and she has all kinds of problems, and I don't want fluoride for her either. Thank you.
Mr. Brown, Ron Brown?
You know, I could have cancer, and I could have tumors all over my body, and you could have the cure. But if I don't want the cure, you don't have the right to give it to me, right? And not only that, let's turn the scenario. Let's say that every time you come out into the sunlight, I need to show up and grease you down with sun cream or whatever that stuff's called. Well, that means anytime you walk past the window and the sun's coming through, oh, I got to stop and put sun cream on you. You come outside on the porch, I got to stop and put sun cream on you. You go to the car, I got to stop and put sun cream on you. You're saying, well, that's pretty invasive, isn't it? Well, every time I drink water in my house or eat soup or Jell-O or something else, you're in my house in the form of fluoride saying, well, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this. And you wouldn't want me putting suntan lotion on you every 2 minutes, and I don't want fluoride in my water. As simple as that.
Okay. Is there anybody else who signed up that we missed? Okay, that concludes public comment.
Thank you, everyone. We'll move on to section 5, the general motion. Ted?
Motion to approve the initiation of the process of fluoridating the public water supply system owned and operated by the Meadville Area Water Authority by applying for a construction permit from the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Resources pursuant to Title 25 PA Code, Section 109.501, for the purpose of modifying the water facility to allow the addition of fluoridation chemicals certified under ANSINSF Standard 60 to the authority's public water supply.
May I have a motion?
So moved.
Finn?
May I have a second?
I'll second.
And Gilday.
Discussion. Any board member want to make a statement?
I've got a few things to say.
All right, Hal, go ahead.
I've written them down because my memory sometimes fails me at very important moments. I think it's ironic that you go to a doctor or a dentist and they lay out options for patient's care, and the patient makes the decision. However, in this case, they believe our customers, patients if you will, are not capable to decide that they would rather use fluoridated mouth rinse and toothpaste and see a dentist as they deem necessary rather than have their drinking water fluoridated. 1% of our population is fluoride intolerant. We heard from a mother at our last public meeting about her 2 children that would be in that category. There is also supported evidence that kidney patients are affected by concentrated fluoride toxicity. And we had one letter that we received from a kidney patient. Of all age groups, infants are the most vulnerable to fluoride toxicity. Due to their small size, infants receive up to 400% more fluoride per pound of body weight than adults consuming the same level of fluoride in water. Not only do infants receive a larger dose, they have an impaired ability to excrete fluoride through their kidneys. This would be supported by doctors not recommending fluoridated water to be used for infant formula. And I've got 4 grandchildren, 2 of who I know for a fact that the doctors didn't recommend fluoridated water. I think there's a place for fluoride. The schools have a program and dentists can seal and apply topical fluoride to teeth, which both sides of the issue agree is the best method to apply fluoride. Both are available by choice to consumers. Voodoo Brewing, a Meadville company and its 53 employee owners all expressed their complete and utter opposition to the fluoridation of the Meadville water. So let me get this straight about Paul Votek from Erie. Says he understands that forced medication objections, but that you can also avoid it if you want to. So I'm supposed to pay to install it and add it to MAWA water. Then if I don't want to have it in there, I have to install a system to have it filtered out. When those that want fluoride can simply buy mouthwash, brush their teeth, and go to the dentist. I was also approached by a member of the Vernon Township Water Authority. He told me MAWA never reached out to them about fluoridation. Is it the same for Woodcock and West Mead? I don't know. We haven't even reached out to our own customers. I made a motion to do that, but it failed for lack of a second. We instead have sat back and said, let them contact us. So far, as of today, the letters received, no fluoride, 118. Yes to fluoride, 49. 5 of those were way out of town. Harrisburg, Reno, New York, Washington, Chicago, Oil City. That's reduced the total in favor of fluoride to 44. And a petition we received that is 3 to 4 years old, collected by college students that receive participation points for their grade. Even with their letter-writing campaign, the folks of Meadville are against fluoridation. The rec complex will have fluoridated pool water. This would not be recommended for drinking. Fight fires, flush hydrants, wash cars, water domestic animals, showers, toilets, water the yard, so on and so on. 99.99375% of fluoridated water goes down the drain, while only 0.00625% ends up being used to drink. And that's a waste of my money on fluoride. In other words, the average person drinks 1/2 gallon of water a day out of a total of 80 to 100 gallons of water used in that day. The rest of that fluoridated water is being flushed down the drain and running down the drain from the shower or bathtub. The point I'm trying to make is that fluoridated water is not an efficient method of getting fluoride on teeth. Fluoride pills in the school, fluoride rinses. and the dentist is the way to go. And taxpayer dollars are already being spent on that. And that's the target age group, 6 to 12, that are getting the fluoride pills to chew on in school. And we've also said, well, the children, what about the poor children and stuff? Well, we have a CHIP program paid for by tax dollars that covers uninsured children in Pennsylvania. And they also cover, along with routine doctor visits, prescriptions, dental, eye care, and more. So my vote is going to be against fluoride.
John, have any comments? None? Mark?
I'm going to be voting for fluoride. And it's been a long journey. I've been on the Water Authority for 2 years. This was on the front burner from day one. My decision came down to the fact that there is an established public need in our community for fluoridation. The research has been extensive. We have looked into it. I've looked at many things that were online. Spent a lot of time on this. I was excited about the presentations that we got from the presenters, from Dr. Johnson and Dr. Connett. I even went back and looked at the YouTube video just to confirm the information that I had seen. I feel comfortable with doing this by the fact that 70% of public drinking water systems are fluoridated and represent over 200 million Americans that are drinking fluoridated water today. And also the fact that it is supported by CDC, Pennsylvania Department of Health, and the DEP. So I feel very comfortable that this is in the best interest of our community.
I will be voting for fluoride also, based on my professional experience. I will make some comments. We received a letter from Voodoo Brewery. First of all, my personal opinion of the letter is that this business owner is putting his best interest in the almighty dollar ahead of public health. I think
I gotta walk out.
going gets tough. I think it appears he's holding a few jobs over the heads of the MAWA board members to influence a decision that is being considered to improve the overall public health of the Meadville community.
Did you listen
To me, it's kind of selfish if you ask me. It's most likely orchestrated by the anti-fluoride lobby. While only Voodoo knows what's best for their beer, in contact with Erie, I found out Erie has 5 microbreweries in its service area, and 4 of them opened with the addition of fluoride. Erie Brewing Company was in operation for decades prior to the decision to add fluoride, while Lavery, Mill Creek Brewing Company, Brew Erie, and Erie Ale Works have all started up operations after Erie's public water supply was fluoridated. Nobody threatened to leave if fluoride was added. As a matter of fact, more opened after fluoride was in the water supply. While Erie Waterworks didn't receive any threats from breweries, they did have a couple florists raise some concerns, but in the 15 years since Erie Waterworks added fluoride, they couldn't find one flower that died because of it. Buffalo has had fluoride in their water for more than 75 years. Based on their addresses, there are 13 microbreweries located in the city of Buffalo. I'm not sure if any of the others use the city's water supply, but there are plenty that do. So I just want to put that out on the table, and based on my everyday in the ditches with the patients, with the children whose parents will not get them to the dental office to receive the CHIPS program, which I am a proud participant in, this is who they will be helped. Fluoride is the way to go. Thank you.
And in closing, I'd just like to read one thing from the U.S. Surgeon General. Community water fluoridation, which celebrates its 70th anniversary this year, has been so successful, leading to dramatic declines in both the prevalence and severity of tooth decay, that the Centers for Disease Control, the CDC, and Prevention identified it as one of the 10 great public health achievements of the 20th century. As Surgeon General, I encourage all Americans to make choices that enable them to prevent illness and promote well-being. Community water fluoridation is one of the most practical, cost-effective, equitable, and safe measures communities can take to prevent tooth decay and improve oral health. And that was the Surgeon General Murthy, MD, MBA, 2015. That's all I have to say at this time.
Call for the vote.
Are we ready?
Ready? Groves?
Aye.
Fenton?
Yes.
Fulmer?
No.
Tubbs?
No.
Gilday?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-2.
So we'll prepare the next thing to go forward to notify DEP and prepare the proper paperwork. And Tom, I would assume...
agreement or the face of fluoride.
Yep.